Hey, what's up, hello, super duper simps, and welcome back to another episode of SimplyPodLogical, a simply Nailogical podcast.
Totally, whatever.
Hello. You're not interested?
Yeah, no, I'm being 90's or so rad.
You are so 90's,
Yes.
Simply.
Yes. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Taco Tuesday. Today we thought it would be fun to do some vintage 90's quizzes to find out whether he loves you.
Is 90's vintage now?
I think so. Yes,
think so.
It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were joking about this while playing video games the other night, how it might be funny for you to administer a quiz to me, like quizzes that were like in like J14 or Teen
17,
Vogue 17
yeah.
magazine. Does he have a secret crush on you?
Yes. Back in the day.
I don't have much experience with this. Could you just sort of give us some context what these magazines were all about?
So when I was a child, there was no
vintage. When you were a vintage child,
there were no computers that we access on a regular basis for like 8 hours a day, generally speaking.
Cell phones?
Not even when I was that age. So wait, I have to explain. I'm 34 for context. And in the late 90's is when I remember our parents getting a computer, but it wasn't like, it was a whole ordeal to turn it on and you had to take turns and it took a long time and internet wasn't as reliable. So I didn't spend the majority of my time as a young teenager on the internet.
Yeah.
So instead, we had like a lot of magazines. That's what well, of course, there was like extracurricular activities and stuff. I'm not dismissing that. I did dance class and whatever. But magazines, specifically like young girl-centric magazines, is what I remember getting excited about because it was literally just an activity. Like I'd go to the superstore or the grocery market or something with my parents, and I'd be like, "Can I get a magazine?" Because it gave me, as a young child, something to do when I got home after homework or other extracurricular activities. So I'd sit in my room either alone or sometimes if you went to as like a sleepover party with your friends, and you would like follow these flowchart maps to figure out whether or not he likes you, or you do like silly astrology quizzes to find out who's your perfect match. And it's very like, on the surface, like pretty harmless, pretty silly, nothing serious type quizzes. Like Cosmo quizzes were another big one. Just things like that. That's what I remember being kind of a key thing that I did repeatedly as a young girl, because that's what was available. Like, it's not because I'm like, I really like Cosmo quizzes. It's just like, that's what was there in front of me.
Yes, before you could doom scroll Instagram for 8 hours looking at photoshopped women and feeling bad about yourself, you could do teen girl magazine quizzes that assumed your entire existence was about whether you were desirable to little boys or not.
And then you'd feel insecure because you're like, oh, I guess he doesn't like me because this quiz says maybe not.
Is that like too dramatic of a read on it? That because like my limited experience of this was like going on a school trip in the 8th grade, and some girls brought along one of these magazines and was like asking the boys about it and just giggling when we answered. Yeah. So that's sort of my entire context around this. The boys I was hanging around with, we didn't really have an equivalent. Like, when we were hanging out, we weren't reading magazine quizzes to each other. We were like fighting each other, playing sports, hitting each other over the head with a stick.
Brilliant.
I guess the only equivalent I can think of is like as a teenage boy, there were like, I think your like first introduction to like, how do I put this? There were like Maxim magazine or like Playboy type magazines. That was, I think, a lot of little boys' like first way of seeing women in a sexual context, which I think a lot of young men first experience women in a sexual way, like not in real life, but like through these different forms of media that give them maybe not the most realistic and sometimes harmful ideas of what to expect in a real life relationship.
Were there quizzes?
Maybe, but no one really read those.
Oh.
That's pretty, like, before porn was like hugely accessible. I think a lot of young boys just like embarrassingly went to a corner store and bought like a Maxim magazine or found their dad's like Playboy stash. It was a different world. It was vintage.
Yes. So how about I quiz you using the old school quizzes.
Okay.
If we do that. And then we also found some more like slightly more modernized quizzes
So this will
that
tell
we can do
me
together.
what kind of boy I want to date.
I found a few. It's really hard to find these
Okay.
it's pictures we have of old magazines from like 1999. Found them on Pinterest actually.
Christine did her research here.
But it is, yeah. So if you're listening, we'll just read it out to you. But for those watching, like these are photos of the magazines that I even remember. Like there's just an aesthetic to these flowcharts and the colors, and then using specific celebrities from that era who are like 14 years old or whatever at the time. I just remember this so deeply. I'm like, yeah, okay, these are the magazines of my childhood.
Yeah. So like the first one is a quiz about what's your true color. Like, what's your true hair color, I guess.
Yeah. Ever think you were born with the wrong hair? Take our quiz to find out.
So the results are I'm either Lizzie McGuire, totally blonde, I'm brunette, like Ashley Simpson, or I'm totally a redhead like Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, let's ask you. Let's quiz you. So,
Hit me.
Ben,
Hit me, baby, one more time.
start. Who cares about grades? As long as I look cute, that's all that matters. Yes or no?
Oh, that's a question?
Yeah.
Or it's like, do you agree or disagree?
Yes. Do you agree or disagree? Yeah.
I care about my grades. I want to do something.
So no. Of all my friends, I'm the most level-headed. Yes or no?
The most level? I'm pretty. I don't know if I'm the most.
Well, you got to pick yes or no.
I am level-headed, but I'm not going to go around telling people I'm the most level. That doesn't seem like a very level-headed thing to do.
Yeah, good point. So no.
No.
Okay. I could never ask a guy out. I'm way too shy.
I'm pretty shy. I had trouble asking
Yeah,
out
that's
women
true.
for a long time.
Yep. Okay. So yes. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'd take Ashton over Orlando any day. Ashton as in Ashton Kutcher and Orlando
what?
as in Orlando Bloom.
I used to have like an irrational hatred for Ashton Kutcher.
Why?
He just bothered me so much in like things I would see him in. Like I don't know him personally. I mean like in any movie or TV show he was
like his
in,
character
I would always find him incredibly obnoxious.
in that 70s show? Or
All
other
his
like
shows.
rom-coms, like other silly movies.
Just anything.
He was in a lot of like silly movies, I think.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Dude, where's my car? Kind of stuff. Oh, the Punked series, especially, right? He was like the male Ellen DeGeneres. Like everyone pretends like, oh, this is totally fun. I love that you sort of pranked me and embarrassed me. Same way Ellen would do with the dancing. Like no one wanted to dance.
He
She's
was
just like
kinda
pressuring you into
One
dancing.
of the originators of being pranked.
He was basically a
Yeah.
YouTube prank channel before that was a
Before
thing.
YouTube was a thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's awful.
So that's what annoyed you.
But,
All right.
but turns out he's actually kind of a big sweetie and has
Yes.
done like cool stuff for like he does a lot of philanthropy for like human trafficking of women.
Yep.
He's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
anti-Andrew Tate, you know? So he seems like a good dude.
We love that.
I don't know anything about Orlando Bloom other than him being the elf.
So you would take Ashton. Just take Ashton.
I'll
Okay.
take You just
So-
want an answer. I'll take Ashton.
Because the next one is I love wearing bright nail polish.
Okay. I like bright nail polish. I don't necessarily like sparkly glitter nail polish.
That's not the question. It's just bright nail polish. This is before glitter was invented.
Okay,
No?
I like a bright creme.
Okay, so yes, I'm the biggest flirt in my class. Yes or no?
What do you think? Am I flirty?
I feel like you would be.
I would be a little flirty. Yeah,
a little bit.
I was good at charming people's moms.
Okay, that's fucking weird, Ben. Stop.
Is that a weird thing to say?
Yes. Okay, one word to describe me: sassy. Yes or no?
I'm pretty sassy.
You're pretty sassy.
I'm pretty sassy.
Okay, your result is totally redhead.
I'm Lindsay Lohan.
Like Lindsay Lohan, your true color is fiery red. You're sassy, funny, and full of energy. You love to flirt with all the boys, and you're all
All of
about
them?
fun. You go, girl.
Okay, at least it's kind of positive. It's not like shaming for
Yeah.
flirting with all the boys.
Yeah, you go, girl. Okay, I guess so. Positive
You
enough.
go, girl.
All right.
I'll go, girl.
Should we do the next one for Ben?
Was that fun? What do you think? Do you think I would look good as a redhead?
No.
No.
I feel like, okay. Like, I think I would look okay as a redhead, but that's directly because I have freckles. So it would kind of bring it out and look kind of natural on me. And
Yeah.
I have hazel eyes, and I just find the green complements the red nicely, just like from a purely
Have you
color
dyed?
theory.
You used to color your hair.
Yeah, I've had red hair or orange hair or whatever a lot when I was younger. Yeah.
I've never colored my hair, and I don't have all that much left, so it's a little late to start.
You're like, it's not worth it.
Are there any... who's a famous male celebrity with red hair? There aren't a lot of famous guys.
Prince Harry.
Oh, Harry and
You
Meghan
forgot about
Markle.
Harry. How dare you?
Is he just an influencer now?
I don't know.
Pretty much.
He's the famous ex-prince.
Ex-prince.
Is he still a prince? I don't remember.
The Harry formerly known as Prince. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would dye my hair red.
Okay, all right. So it's
Is
not
that part
for
of the
you.
quiz?
No, it's just saying you're sassy like
I have
a
the
redhead.
personality
You have
of
the
a redhead.
personality of a redhead, right? Okay, let's do the next one.
Okay.
Because the next one is he for real? Take the quiz and find out.
Am I for real or is my crush for real?
Is your crush for real?
Okay.
And this is a picture of JoJo. Who is in a lot
JoJo
of these.
Siwa?
No, not JoJo Siwa, another JoJo. But honestly, I personally don't really remember looking up to her that much. It was more like Britney Spears.
That's kind of mean to say about JoJo.
That's not what I mean. I don't remember seeing her face everywhere as much as I saw Britney.
I thought JoJo was famous very briefly for having one big song.
I can't
It's a
remember.
bit of a one-hit wonder.
I
A
don't
little
know.
too
it's
late.
just I'm not trying to be mean. It's just not what I remember. It was a lot of Hilary Duff was what I saw mostly. If we're talking about actresses or
What
I guess
do you
she's a
think? Is
singer.
her real name JoJo?
I don't know.
Is that short for something?
But her quote apparently is, "How can you tell if he's into you? Observe and note the way he is." That's her quote.
I mean, that's good advice.
Observe him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Study him
thank
like a
you,
zoo
JoJo.
animal.
Study him. Okay. There was no. This was pre-stalk him on Instagram. That didn't exist.
Yeah.
You
Observe him.
couldn't check out his TikTok.
Observe him in a laboratory setting.
It was just you had to look at him in real life. You couldn't stalk him on the internet. There was not an option. So it was actually a lot harder for us back in the day.
That's good advice. You want to see how someone behaves in real life, not just their IG profile.
Yeah, but like any good detective, you want a lot of background information before you go to the scene.
You want to observe someone for who they are, not how they present themselves to the internet, though.
I think you want both. I think both are very valuable pieces of data. I think if you limit yourself to just one, then you're missing a whole bunch.
It's you want to know who they are and who they pretend to be.
Exactly.
Okay.
See if there's an alignment
And
there.
maybe you are who you pretend to be.
Well, not always.
Sometimes.
This is too sophisticated for 1999, Ben.
JoJo.
Okay.
JoJo's like a philosopher.
JoJo. Question number 1. He talks to other girls never, sometimes, or all the time.
So am I answering I'm the guy? Do I talk to other girls? You're asking me if I talk to other girls?
Just say it as your crush.
You're my crush.
Okay, well, not pretend you're in 1999.
You talk to other women?
Okay, fuck. Well, then, Ben, just pretend you're a young girl in 1999.
Do you want to do this I'm the boy you're interested in? And you answer?
Okay, maybe that makes more sense for this one. Okay.
Okay.
So, if I'm 13, he talks to other girls.
Yeah, do I talk to other girls?
Yes, sometimes conversation
I have spoken to other
is
women.
spoken between people of the opposite gender. That occurs occasionally. So let's put sometimes, which is a B, and I just okay. So it's more points for C. Got it. Okay. 2. All of his friends know my name.
Yeah, you're kind of famous.
Okay, well, pretend I'm 13.
I'm not pretending you're dating a 13-year-old.
I'm gonna say no because,
What do you
why
mean,
would you
no?
expect all of his friends to know your name?
Because you're an enormous part of my life. All my friends know who you are. I don't have many. I don't have a huge number
I
of
thought we were
friends.
pretending I'm 13.
No,
Okay,
let's just
sorry.
answer the question.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So okay, so I guess it's
Definitely.
A. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. My friends think we're great together. Totally.
Your friends.
Yes.
Which one of your friends don't like me? They all
Next
think
question.
they all think I'm great.
Yeah. Okay, so
That was
totally.
evasive answer there.
I sit next to him at lunch every day
This is kind of an issue when we first started
Yeah.
working together.
because we always had lunch together.
Well, I had many friends
At work.
or I coworkers, and I would sometimes eat lunch with them, and it kind of felt like you were the new girl
Yeah.
and you didn't really have friends yet, and so you always wanted to eat lunch with me, but I wanted
You
life.
didn't want to eat lunch with me.
I wanted a life not just, I think it's healthy to have
Yeah.
relationships outside of your relationship, right?
Yeah. So I slept in the car instead.
This is a very sad true story.
But that wasn't because it wasn't because of you. It was because like I was fucking tired and I just like used
This
that
is also like
opportunity.
peak Simply work
Yeah.
time, you making multiple videos a week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but currently, I'll say every day.
Yeah.
Okay. He always treats me the same way, whether we're alone or in a big group at school.
I actually like this question a lot.
Why?
For young girls taking this
Okay.
quiz, because I think if a guy is treating you one way alone, but when he's in front of his friends,
He's pretending
he wants to
be cool.
big shot guy, like, oh,
I
I'm
don't
not
need
vulnerable,
you.
or like actually care.
Yeah.
Like if he's expressing a lot of less affection for you around other people, I think that's just a sign of like immaturity and weakness on his part, which maybe is something you expect from a teenage boy. So I wouldn't just write him off for that reason. But that is a sign of like
could be
there's some
growth.
maturity
Yeah.
to happen there.
Okay. So I'll say always.
Thank you.
He gives me a hug and puts his arm around me in public a lot, sometimes, or rarely. This is like, is he willing to show that he likes you in public? Because it's like, well, is he willing to like put his arm around you
Yeah.
in public places? So it's kind of like the same question, sort of, as previously. Like, is he pretending to be one person behind the scenes, or is he okay with showing you off or showing the world that, like, yes, I like this person? So I'll say a lot. 7.
A lot of PDA.
At school dances, he chills with just me, a few different girls, or almost every girl there.
I want to dance with all the girls and their moms.
I mean, like, just you, and that's it.
Well, we're
It's
not
kind
going.
of
We're not
weird.
going to many dances these days. When was the
Yeah.
last time you went dancing?
I don't recall.
Maybe
I
at
do
a
not
wedding.
recall.
Sophia's wedding.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess.
Last time
Maybe.
and then I danced with another man instead
You
of you.
did.
You didn't want to dance.
So he danced with other boys.
I danced with other boys. That should be another option
So
here.
I should put a few different girls and just
danced
substitute
with
girls
one-
for other people.
I'm not a big dancer. Does that bother you?
No.
It's not.
at
It wasn't
all.
important to you that I was a good dancer.
No.
Because
It's
you used to
fine.
go out more when we first started dating. Like you would like go out dancing.
No, I didn't.
Well, like maybe before me.
Before you.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
You're a good dancer.
Sure.
Why is this making you uncomfortable?
I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
This is like school dances where no one is dancing.
I'm
You
just
know
trying
what I
to
mean?
turn these dumb questions into real
Okay,
conversation.
got it. So we
Do
need
you
to
think a
see-
girl should like care about her partner being a good dancer?
No.
No.
I don't think anyone expects people like who cares? Like
Well,
school
maybe you
dances
care
are,
about dancing.
I mean, unless you're a professional dancer and like that matters to you. I don't think anyone who's like not that actually gives a shit if someone's a good dancer or not. I don't think there's any meaningful significance to what that means for your future with that person.
Okay.
Okay, can I score you?
Score me.
So hold on.
Rank me like a piece of meat.
Because I wasn't keeping track. So I have to do how many times he talks to other girls. That one. Okay, so it looks like you're landing in the middle. So,
middle?
Yeah, is a
What?
cute crush. Your guy respects you and you both have fun together. Give it time and it might turn into something serious.
Wait, how did I not score perfect?
Because you talk to
I'm
other girls
for real?
sometimes and you would have danced with a few girls.
So they're saying the healthiest relationship is I don't speak to any other women.
Yes.
I don't think this is a very healthy idea.
I don't think so either, but I find this to be kind of a trend with these is like, even with the ones is like, is he cheating on you? It's like he has other girls' numbers in his phone. Uh-oh, that's like deduct a point logic.
Well, like, you know what's a bad sign? If your guy has like fake people in his phone, right? Isn't that the sign?
How do you know they're fake?
But
What do you
like,
mean fake people?
isn't that what like real sketchy dudes do? Like they'd like if they meet another girl, they would just give them the name like
Of a buddy.
Christopher,
This is Peter.
and it turns out it's like the
This is my
the
buddy
bar
Peter.
a waitress that he met or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you have
I
other
suppose.
girls in the phone, it's not like you're trying to hide that there's other girls in there.
Yeah, or maybe he just like talks to other people in this reality.
Sometimes women have ideas and are worth speaking to.
And sometimes people just talk to other people just like for regular conversation and not because they're trying to be malicious or cheat on anyone.
Maybe. You think like, yeah, we think there was probably a point in my life where I was more of like a cringy sort of contrarian about this, like about the idea of like, can men who are attracted to be women just be purely platonic friends with women? You know?
Yeah, but that's such a, I mean, now that we're like 30 million years old, that's clearly such a perception that requires maturing to understand that like that makes literally no sense. But when you're 14, I guess you think of it in this binary way where it's like he's either really interested in me or like if he's not speaking to me, like he's not interested in me, and there's no in between. It's like really difficult to measure whether or not you can be friends with someone of the opposite gender because like we were socialized in a way that almost based on all these quizzes kind of expects young women to expect like he's gonna like you or he's not gonna like you. So I think maybe this kind of culture of quizzing maybe contributed to that kind of insecurity that young girls had.
And for a lot of women, is there like, if you just want to be friends with a dude, I have to imagine there's always sort of this lingering anxiety that like he might secretly be
Like
in love with me,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
maybe. I mean, it depends. If you saw clues or something of that, then maybe you might feel a little weird, or if he did anything. And then you'd feel like bad because you didn't want to hurt his feelings maybe. And yeah, but you know, people usually grow out of this and grow past it. And
This is just a lot of like that pain and anguish of
being a young person.
Figuring these things out.
It'll get better because you'll care less. Like that's just what happens. Like you'll just care less.
You just figure out more about yourself and what you want, sort of thing.
Yeah, a little more like independence logic, I think, comes with time. And of course, everyone's different and people mature at different rates. But I do think like over time, you start to learn what you want as an individual a little bit more. And it's easier to appreciate that with time than understanding it when you're younger and you're just like constantly like, who's this? Who's this? What do they want from me? What do I need from them? And that's just kind of like how you grow up as a young person.
And you find out what is for real, like JoJo.
Yeah.
Next quiz?
So let's go to the next one, which I think maybe Ben could do this one. How about I ask you this one?
Do you think before you speak?
And the picture is JoJo again with her hands like shock face as if she just
She's
said
doing
something.
the Home Alone face.
She's doing the, oh my
Wait,
God.
that does not look like the same person. Those are both JoJo?
It says it's a quote by JoJo beside her. It's crazy people just like to talk too much, JoJo tells us.
Is that a JoJo quote?
Yeah.
Do you think they just made that up or she actually said that?
I don't know. Maybe they told her what to say and she said it. And then they're like, put that in quotes.
So she has no autonomy.
I don't know. I mean,
All right.
like, I have no idea.
What's the quiz?
Okay. Suffering from a case of loose lips? Don't fret. You're not alone. You're shopping when your BFF wants to try on a top you hate. You say, let me see how it looks on you. Or, I wouldn't wear that if I were you. So would you be honest with your BFF that the top is ugly in your perception?
Well,
Or-
just because I hate it doesn't mean it's like objectively bad.
That is very mature logic of you, Ben.
So,
So you wouldn't tell someone
I
that
wouldn't
you think it's ugly.
interject. No.
Okay.
I would be honest if I thought it looked bad, but like
So you would say like,
not gonna tell them not
let
to
me
try it
see how
on."
it looks on you.
Yeah,
which is like
sure.
maybe a gentle way of like, we'll get there. Okay.
Sure.
Your crush mentions his ex during a phone convo. You make a joke about her or pretend you didn't notice and change the subject. So
I mean, what is the context in which this is brought up?
you have a crush and they mention their ex.
Like,
Just like, oh yeah.
my ex stole all my books and won't give them back.
Yeah, do you make a joke about the ex or do you pretend you didn't notice and you change the subject?
It depends what's brought up. If it's like, I'm
Okay.
still in love with my ex,
But if it's just like,
I'm going to pretend I
but if
didn't
it's
hear
just,
that.
it's just like this person used to drive this car. Like it's just like random like that. What would you do?
I would just answer it in any sort of normal conversational way. I'm,
So you would make a joke.
or just give a,
Well, I think the other one is harshly like, don't acknowledge it. So is that not you? Do you acknowledge it or not? Is the question.
I'd probably acknowledge what they're saying. Yeah.
All right. Your bud wore an ugly hat to school.
My bug?
Your bud.
Oh, my bud.
Your best bud. Your bud. Yeah.
Ugly hat.
When you see them, you
tell them it's an ugly hat.
You jokingly say, nice hat, not. Or you...
It's that one. I don't need to hear the other.
Okay.
Not.
All right. Your mom made your fave dinner, but it smells funny. You try it before.
Does it normally smell funny, or it's like something seems off?
Something seems off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You try it before saying anything. You try it before asking about. Sorry, the resolution is so bad. You
The scan of this page.
You try it before asking about the smell, or you ask why it smells weird. So do you say like, "Why does it smell weird?" or do you try it first?
So when I was like 10 years old, go to my grandmother's house. And she's made a sour cream peach pie.
Oh, you've told me this.
Yeah.
Go on.
And I have I said this before? And I taste it, and it's awful. It tastes like acid reflux.
Is that just, first of all, is that a normal recipe? Sour cream peach pie?
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay.
Maybe old ladies make it.
All right, just like it's a known type of dish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. And I just blurt out, I'm like, this tastes like vomit. And my parents are like, oh my Ben, how could you say that?
How could you insult her?
And my mom tries and she's like, oh my God, this is so bad. My grandmother's like, well, the sour cream was expired, but I scraped off the top layer of what was growing on it. And she used what was underneath.
So were you sick after that?
I don't remember being ill, but it was like, it just tasted awful.
Well, you only ate like one bite, so
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have usually gotten sick.
So
off
I
of
guess
one
I
bite.
would, well, yeah, I would say.
You would
I would
say.
say something.
All right, it looks like you're a blurted out babe.
I am a blurted out
Words
babe.
tend to spew out of your mouth faster than an Eminem song. It it can be a good thing. You're honest when other peeps are afraid to say
Other
how they
peeps?
feel. Peeps, yeah.
So it's a good thing I'm a blurted out babe.
Yeah,
Can I say something actually about myself? Me blurting things out?
sure.
I do think I have a bit of a tendency just to say things sometimes before I think about it. It's not my best quality.
Most people do that though without realizing it, but only people who are on public platforms face more consequences for it because there's more people listening.
I might be worse than the average person at it too. You know what? Sometimes it is like, let's say we're having a conversation about some behind the scenes business stuff. Mm-hmm. I find like in a problem solving context, sometimes I feel like people are like reluctant to throw out possible solutions. So sometimes I like being the guy who just like says things and it's like, I don't even know if it's a good idea while I'm saying it. I'm just sort of
thinking it.
verbalizing it to put it on the table, even if like immediately the response is like, no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes it helps to have that sort of function in a conversation because it helps just start putting some substance in there to help arrive at an answer. But I feel like some people probably see me do this and think like, this guy's just throwing out a bunch of terrible ideas.
Yeah, but like I appreciate that style because I kind of do the same thing. I like to think through things out loud in conversation rather than like immediately coming to some magical decision in 2 seconds.
I find you are very sort of cautious and deliberate, and you literally like say out loud your entire like decision making process, which is
like
great.
these decision trees, Ben.
But like I feel like I almost am the reaction to you, is whereas like you take like 10 minutes to describe your thought process to reach a decision.
Right.
Sometimes I'll just like blurt out a possible answer, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's good and sometimes it's bad.
Right, but see,
think we
I made the
complement each
whole
other.
decision tree, and you just did the blurted out babe.
So I'm blurted out babe, you're a careful cutie.
Yeah.
And I love you for
A
that.
careful cutie. Okay, let's do the next one
Next
because
one?
I want to find out whether he's my crush because what is it about that special boy that makes your heart flutter?
So you'll answer this one.
Sure. So do you want to read it?
Okay. So at the start, I love telling and hearing jokes. Do you think that all the time or just sometimes?
Is this wait, I love telling jokes or like my crush? I personally, as a 17-year-old
do you-
little girl.
No, as you right now,
Okay.
do you love telling and hearing jokes?
Yes,
Sometimes or all the time? All the time?
All the time.
Okay.
I love jokes.
Do you have the best time reading a good book alone or hanging with friends?
There's no internet option. There's like, that's it, guys. Do you understand? It was either read a book or hang out with your friends at the mall. That's it.
I think alone is the key word in the book one.
Yeah.
Would you rather be social or alone
Antisocial.
doing something?
Antisocial.
Okay. My crush likely sit in the back or front of the classroom? Why does this matter? What do you think this says about a person?
Because it's a proxy for, is he a bad boy who doesn't pay attention and he goes to the back of the class? Or is he a good boy and he's listening to the teacher and taking notes?
Did you sat in the back of the class? But not because you were a bad student who didn't want to pay
That's
attention.
a good point. Well, it depends on the class. Sometimes I might have sat in the front if it was impossible to hear from the back, which in some university classes it's like fucking like so stupid. So I'd sit up at the front, but like way over to the side. So I felt like more protected.
Was this out of an anxiety of not wanting to be called upon, or like?
You don't really get called upon in like the 300 people lectures.
Sure.
But I just like didn't want to be smack in the middle where even if it's not someone's intention to look at you, they just like do because they're looking towards the teacher. So I'd always pick like the very far side up against the wall, but closer to the front because I actually want to like hear.
So maybe the bad boys just don't want to be seen too. Maybe they're also anxious.
Or I don't know that would be the stereotypical understanding of a bad boy, though. But yes, obviously this binary has some issues. But I guess I would say front of the class. Just going by their very basic logic of what they would anticipate who would sit at the front of the class.
Okay. For me, I think it would depend on the prof or the lecturer or the topic.
Yeah.
If I was there just to get a credit and just wanted to pass an exam, I'd be at the back or not show up. If it's a prof I liked and a topic I actually liked, I would... I don't know.
And I suppose if you weren't paying attention and you knew that, it's probably more respectful to sit at the back so you don't disturb other people if you're like not paying attention or you're sleeping in class.
I ordered a pizza to a lecture once.
What?
Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah,
Where?
That was
at
pretty
Carleton?
stupid. Yeah, at Carleton. Some first year thing.
Where? Like what class was
like
it?
some intro giant lecture
How did
hall.
you do that? Like
It was like a 6 to 9 p.m. class. They just waited outside the back door.
Oh, okay. So you just ordered it to that building, not like come to classroom 102. Like,
Not quite.
What? Okay. So
Well, he came. He came just outside the doors of the lecture hall.
And was there a break, or you just got up and went outside to get your pizza?
Kind of quietly got up and got a pizza.
And you brought it back into class?
Yeah.
And did everyone look at you when they suddenly smelt like the delicious smell of pizza in the class?
I was trying to be subtle about it.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't, because the
Just
smell would hit everyone. Everyone would be like, what the fuck? Where's my
People
pizza?
would eat in these giant lecture halls.
But like when you bring a whole pizza in, it's definitely gonna like smell more than some random sandwich.
Yeah, in retrospect, that was super obnoxious of me to do. Me and the couple people I did it with. We were in the back, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to pick front of the class. Okay, read the next one.
Oh, where are we? My guy won't leave home without this. His guitar or laptop computer.
I like how there's laptop computers that exist.
A laptop computer.
This was like brand new technology.
It's one of those laptop computers.
So I would say a laptop computer, because I always thought like tech was so cool when it was first coming out. I was like, yes.
Yeah. I also have a guitar.
I prefer your laptop computer.
My laptop computer.
Like the one you're on right now.
Okay, we have a result.
Okay.
So what was the question? He's my crush because he's so smart. His head may be filled with lots of information, but your bookish babe has lots of heart for you.
Does he? Like,
This
how do
is
they
the
know?
perfect. This is our relationship.
How do they know?
This quiz is accurate.
Yes.
What are the other answers? He makes me laugh. Your crush puts a smile on your face every day, from his silly jokes to his totally fun personality. Or he's a sensitive bad boy. Your crush looks like the cool rebel on the outside, but you adore his sweet and romantic side.
This is just like making up archetypes. So like, I don't even know if that exists. Like what?
These are like the ideal forms of men.
Of men that like we were
sensitive
totally
bad
misled.
boy, very smart, charming, funny.
Yeah.
Aren't I all of those things at the same time?
Yes, absolutely, Ben. Okay, let's do the last one like this, because this one is about
what's the last
boy
one?
talk, Ben.
Boy talk?
Can you decode
look at this boy.
Can you decode your crush's flirty messages and bashful body language? So I'm gonna decode you. Ready?
Decode me.
Okay.
Here's your decoder.
1. Boy. There are empty desks throughout the classroom, but he picks a seat right next to you. You think A, he wanted to sit in the last row too. B, he wanted to copy your notes. Or C, he wants to be close to you.
All of the above.
How can it be all of the above?
It could be all of those reasons.
He wanted to sit in the last row and close to you and copy your homework.
Copy your note.
Okay, well...
Wait, who's answering it? You're answering this about me.
No. But the magazine is telling me, or whoever's reading this, what the answer really is. Because then the magazine says, well, actually, the answer really is C. He wants to be close to you. Because he could have picked any of the seats in the room, but he picked the one right next to you. He's obviously interested.
Well, no, he's obviously interested, or he wants to copy your notes. He would need to be right beside you to do that.
The magazine says, don't believe that. You got to have hope, Ben.
Maybe he's playing the long game. He's going to develop like a multiple year relationship with you just so you do his homework.
It's the long con.
I knew. Okay, I don't know
What?
if I should say this.
Ben.
I knew a couple where the guy was like a pretty nice looking guy, but like dumber than a bag of rocks, you know? And his girlfriend would do like some of his schoolwork. She'd like write his resume for him, all sorts of things. And this this guy could like barely function in life.
How old it was his age
We're like
range?
in university.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's not the best. Okay.
I'm not saying he was like using her for this reason. It's kind of like is this what codependency is? For the longest time, I thought
well, that's not codependency. That's like a one-way dependency.
No, but so I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Fact check me. I used to think codependency meant like, oh, you're both dependent on each other. I think it means one person is dependent on the other, and that person enables the person's dependency on them. I think that's actually what codependency means.
I guess that could also be true. But yeah,
because we're just mutually dependent on each other.
So what is
in some healthy and unhealthy ways? I don't think it's a codependency situation.
So codependency is when it's an unequal contribution or reliance.
One person is reliant on the other, and the other
way.
person...
So it's like disproportionate dependence.
The other person reinforces that dependency.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Okay, sure.
Boy, he said he would call, but he didn't.
Why didn't he call?
You think he lied. What a jerk. B, he got busy and forgot. Shoot. C, maybe he lost his phone.
He didn't lose his phone. Maybe
you lose your phone. What the fuck? If no one loses their phone,
maybe he
that's
dropped
an
his
expensive
phone.
loss.
He dropped his phone in the lake.
Maybe.
I dropped my phone in the lake one time.
Okay, well,
that's why I didn't call you back.
When was that?
Actually, it was just before I met you.
Okay, well.
I tried putting it in rice. It didn't work.
I put my phone in rice.
It worked?
Like twice.
Twice?
It worked both times.
Oh, man.
But only a BlackBerry.
I needed your luck.
It worked with a BlackBerry.
I think my problem is I tried turning it back on before I put it in rice.
Yeah, you can't do that. Okay, the answer really is...
What's the answer?
He got busy and forgot. Just because he didn't call you doesn't mean he did it on purpose. He's not ignoring you. He probably just got busy. This magazine is so optimistic. It's like, don't worry, he's going to call you. But like, maybe he's just like, never going to call you again.
Well, I don't know. His life doesn't revolve around you. And hey, you girl. Hey, you. Hey, you girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Don't sit around just waiting for the boy to call.
Good point.
You've got your own life to live.
Yeah, you got magazines to read. Yeah. Coming from the blurted out babe, okay? All right.
I'm just going to blurt it out, babe. Don't wait by the phone.
Number 3, he asks you if you want to play soccer with him and his friends after school. You think he thinks you're good at soccer. B, he wants his friends to get to know you. Or C, he needs an extra player. I would never be invited to play sports with anyone.
I wouldn't invite you
Actually,
to play
that's not
sports.
true. It happened at work, and I was like, why are you asking me? Do you remember that?
Was it a boy?
Yeah.
Like you were dating a boy?
No,
and
at work.
Oh, but a boy asked you to play.
Yeah.
Was he interested in you?
I hope not. That's weird.
Why is that weird?
Because I was dating you.
Oh.
You don't remember this?
Bad. Who was it?
This was at StatsCan, and I told you about it because someone who was
I'm
like
just
on
gonna
the
start yelling out names and we can bleep them out.
No. Someone on the social committee like emailed me and asked if I would like join their soccer game or something, and
you
I
were
was
like,
well, they said,
are you kidding?
I think he said like, oh, we need more like ladies on the team or something.
Oh, that's right. On the sports teams at work,
and I was just like, no, like, do I look like someone who plays soccer? And also, like, you don't want me on the team. Trust me. you know?
Yeah, you're not a
I'm not a
organized
sports lady.
sportsy girl.
No, but I told you about it, and then we just started laughing. So a boy did ask me to play soccer.
Why do you think he asked you? Was he
Well-
wanting to introduce you to his friends?
Apparently,
Or they just needed an extra player?
apparently he wants his friends to get to know you.
Maybe.
Think about it. You want your friends to like whoever your future boyfriend is, right? So does he. Interesting play.
That's a weird way. That's an interesting way of introducing a girl you're interested in to your friend group. Let's all play soccer together.
Yeah, it's kind of like a way of disguising it, maybe to test the waters. Like, because it could look on one hand like you're just inviting someone to be nice to play or you need a player. It could look like that to your friends. But it could also be a way of integrating and seeing if your friends like the person without, like, it's like a test.
I guess it's not a bad idea of it being like some sort of group activity as opposed to like, here's my girlfriend. Everyone ask her questions.
Yeah. I suppose it's like a good way to ease in.
All right. Do you want to play soccer with my friends later?
Who? Menchie? Menchie, you want to play soccer? Okay.
You would just say no. If I had asked you to come play like sports with my friends, you're not doing that.
Were you playing sports when we met? No.
No.
Okay. He says, I could use a math tutor. Could you help me?
Oh,
Ooh.
he wants to make out with you.
He totally likes hanging out with you. He must be too lazy to study by himself, or he really wants an A.
He wants some first date action. You know what I mean?
Well,
Clothes stay on.
So I would decode this by like, are you, the person answering this, even good at math? Because if you're not good at math, then that's a dead giveaway why he wants to talk to you. But if you're actually like really good at math and it's publicly known that you are good at math, then I would think that there's some like real legitimacy to like why this person is asking you for help in math, you know?
What? I'm sorry, but the picture of the boy in this scan of this quiz, he looks like terrified, like he was just surprised at something.
I mean, you'd be terrified too if you found a bunch of girls were like doing this quiz about you. Like, what? Come on, right?
It is super awkward too. This is totally like blunder years. Like, look at that fashion.
That shirt is so cool though. I used to love shirts like that.
Really?
With like the contrasting patterns, because you have the harsh geometric pattern and then there's this like kind of foily viney pattern on top, almost like a calligraphy.
Oh, that's hideous.
Oh, I loved it. Okay, well, the answer is he totally likes hanging out with you. Yeah. It's difficult for boys to ask girls for help. But he doesn't mind getting some from you. He must really like you.
He must.
All right, let's do the last one.
That's the only possible answer.
The last one is you walk past him in the hall and he turns to look at you. Oh, shit. Like what?
He looked at you.
He looked at you. Okay. You must have bumped into him. Oops. He likes to people watch or he thinks you're cute. Wow. We got to think hard the next time we look at someone.
So anytime,
I don't want to give the wrong idea.
Yeah. Because the answer is he thinks you're cute.
You caught his eye and made him stop in his tracks.
You can look at someone without being, your breath taken away.
I don't know. I mean, every time
music starts playing in your head.
Yeah, every time I look at Menchie, that's what's happening.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What song? What song do you hear?
Take my breath away.
Do, do, do.
Do, do. Oh, she got spooked. Okay, well, that was Boy Talk. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to Boy Talk.
Yeah.
I'm Loose. What was my name? Loose Lips
Blurted
Larry?
out, babe.
Blurted out,
Blurted
babe.
out, babe.
You're the careful, quiet cutie?
Careful, quiet cutie. Blurted out, babe.
Yeah, you're the careful cutie.
Yeah.
All right, Christine. So apparently these quizzes still exist today. Mm-hmm. But we just spoke. That was long. We're done. We're done here.
Oh, you didn't want to do the modern quizzes?
We've been talking like 45 minutes. I think we're good.
Okay.
I've done enough quizzes today.
All right. Ben doesn't want to find out who his perfect match is, I guess.
If people actually like this, we could do... Because like I thought of these... I think we think of these things as like relics of the 90's.
Yeah.
But like there are magazines and publications today that also have these things. So I was a bit surprised by that. So yeah, we did find a few of those, but we could do that another time.
Yeah, we could do like an updated modern version to see if anything is
They're basically
changed.
the same though, aren't they?
They're kind of the same, but it's like instead of did he ask you for help with homework, it's like did he send TikToks to you or something.
Christine, I love you. I would do a lot for you. I would sacrifice a lot for you.
But you won't be in my TikToks?
I will not send you a TikTok or get on TikTok.
Ben, you mustn't really love me.
I guess not.
Blurt it out, babe. Rude.
I'm just blurting that out there.
Yeah. It's okay. Menchie will be in my TikToks.
Okay, so you did these as a child?
Yeah.
Do you think
it
it formed your impression of how the relationships you wanted to have with men?
I find so much of this was like heavily aspirational. Like you saw the way that it, first of all, it was very binary in the sense that it paints people, including yourself, into very like limited categories of like, it must be this, or he likes you or he doesn't like you. And I think that kind of instilled insecurities from my recollection. Not everyone, but I kind of remember thinking like, oh, unless you get the best or the most desired outcome you wanted, that you're like, I'm a little bit insecure now, because whether or not I'm liked, or whether or not I'm trendy, or whether or not I have the right hair color, or whether or not I'm fashionable. Because there was also questions about like, are you in style?
But like even people didn't really do these all that seriously, did they? Wasn't it more like a fun sleepover type game?
I mean, I don't remember ever taking these style of quizzes to heart and crying over them. I think like you were crying over like the actual reality of like if your crush said they didn't like you or they didn't answer you, then you would cry about it. But then in your boredom, you would do what? You'd go to these magazines and you'd trace flow maps and you'd be like, meh. So for me, yeah, it was kind of a pastime. It was something to do with friends or alone if you were bored, or like you went on family vacation and like you just like were annoyed at your parents. You'd ask me like, hey, can I get this magazine? And then it would at least occupy maybe 30 minutes to an hour of your time of you just reading through shit like this. That's kind of my memory of it. But I don't doubt that there's probably more problematic examples in these types of grids that really try and paint pictures of either young women or men into very specific boxes. There's also a lot of assumptions underlying in these magazines that like you're only interested in boys if you're reading a girls magazine, and you know, I guess vice versa doesn't exist because there wasn't really young boy magazines like this anyways with this style of quizzes. But like there's a lot of assumptions in there, heteronormativity obviously, and just general creating binaries of people and what types of people they are, like personality types.
There's a lot of JoJo.
And there was a lot of JoJo and whatever aspirational teens that we were looking up to at that time. Yes.
Okay, I think this was fun. I don't know.
Okay.
I had a good time.
All right, we could quiz you again.
We could just do this every week.
Well, like the modern ones are interesting because there's a lot of like, is he cheating on you stuff with quiz questions about that. And it's like, does he have other phone numbers in his phone?
Oh, yeah, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah. But it wasn't in this example because this was like probably before fucking cell phones. Like this was before, I think, like right before cell phones were kind of a requirement for you to exist as a human.
Oh, I didn't. They're a requirement to exist.
I mean, like, who doesn't? I mean, okay, I understand not everyone has a cell phone, but the vast...
It's just an interesting way of putting that.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's, like, extremely normal for the average person, not everyone, obviously, but most people, in order to operate in society and to, like, be a part of all sorts of things, including your employment, like, you need a cell phone, you know? People expect you to have a phone. When I was a teenager, very limited numbers of people had cell phones. I think I only got one in high school, and it was basically like because you had to have one for safety, so you could call your parents after school if you missed the bus. That's why you started getting a cell phone. And then it changed into like so you could, you know, talk to your friends. But that took time.
All right.
All right. Well, fellow
Thank you for tuning in.
90's people, say hello in the comments.
Yeah. Tell us if you took quizzes like this and how much it shaped your future relationships.
Well, I wouldn't say it like did that. I wouldn't go that far.
Did you get married as the result of taking one of these quizzes? Let us know.
Did you find your secret crush through these quizzes and marry them later?
All right.
All right, everyone. Happy Taco Tuesday.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see y'all later. Bye.